guys, this is Yasher, and today we're going to review a budget smartphone. So the smartphone we're going to review today is the Honor 9 Lite. Now, this is a very good budget smartphone for the build quality it comes in and the hardware and processor in this phone. So let's get started. So first let's review the box and what it says on the box with all the features in this phone. So the box is basically this light blue box which says Honor 9 Lite on it. Nothing much on the front of the box. So let's look at the back of the box and see the reviews and the things it comes on the back with. So it says that the phone is an octa-core CPU, which is the processor of this phone. It has a 4 GB RAM and a 64 GB storage. It's an Android OS 8.0 version, which is the latest Android version, which is the latest and best Android operating system. So then we have the 14.4 centimeter display, which is about 5.46 inches display. And then we have the 13 megapixel plus 2 megapixel camera, because this phone is a dual camera. So it's a 13 megapixel plus a 2 megapixel. On the rear and the front are 13 plus 2. And then it says that it has a fingerprint scanner on the back and a face recognition on the front. And it also has a 3000 mAh battery. So let's get into reviewing the phone now. Let's put the box aside and look at the phone. So first, let's talk about the build quality of this phone. So the phone has a glass finish on the back. The glass finish is really nice, but one of the cons of this is that it attracts a few fingerprints. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it attracts a lot of fingerprints, which doesn't really look that good. The fingerprint scanner is in a nice place to reach out to. It has a dual camera with a flash. So this camera looks like the iPhone 8 Plus. So let's look at the front. It has a nice big screen and it has a face recognition in here. So let's review the face recognition and the fingerprint. So I'll see if the face recognition is fast, and then we'll see if the fingerprint is fast. So let's review the face recognition first. So it did open up. It took about like 3-4 seconds to open up. It's not that fast, but for the price it offers, face recognition already is a really good thing. So now let's try the fingerprint scanner. So the fingerprint scanner worked on the second time I put my finger on, so that's not bad. So now let's look at the display and the screen of this phone. So the bezels on the screen are pretty thick on the top and bottom, but the bezels on the side, you can't even notice them much. So this is really good bezels on the side. But one thing I would have avoided when designing this phone is that putting the Honor logo down here, because they made that a pretty thick bezel. So if they put the Honor logo like right here on the back, then it would have been much better and the screen would have been bigger. So the bezels wouldn't have been so thick. So that's just one thing about the bezels. So the display of this phone is very bright and nice to look at. The frames per second are pretty fast. They refresh pretty fast. So as you can see, I'm trying to move it. It's pretty fast. So one additional feature that I like on this phone is that you don't need to every time go into the Google app and search something. You can just slide over and there we go. Google's right there to search up. So that was the display of this phone. It's very nice and smooth. So now let's look at the cameras of this app. So basically the camera is pretty good on this phone. So the camera, as I told, is a 13 megapixel by 2 megapixel. So let's look at the features it has on the photo app. So first it just opens up on photo. It has the portrait mode, which is basically for taking selfies and good photos. The portrait mode, and then is aperture. So the aperture is basically something that if you put on a higher level and you're taking a picture of something, it blurs out the background, so you can concentrate on the thing you're taking the photo of, so it looks much better. So I like that aperture mode. It looks really nice and smooth. And then there's, if you go back here, there's the to the other side of the photo, there's video. So video is also really nice recording on this phone. It's the same quality as the camera, so the video doesn't have much for it. it has another thing that's on the display screen of the camera is this thing right here. So it's the beauty level. So if you're taking a selfie, then you can like increase the beauty level. Now it's at 0, but it can go up to 10, which is really good. And then we have the more. So the more's features are one of the pro. There's a pro. There's a night light mode. There's a panorama. There's an AR lens. There's a light painting. There's a HDR. There's a time lapse. There's a moving picture. There's a filter for your photos. There's stickers that you can add on to your selfies and photos. There are documents. And there's good food, which is basically like a editing app that you can just use to put brightness levels and stuff like that. So it just said touch the screen to activate the camera, which I think I need to do after like a few seconds of it running. So if I touch the screen, it just enables. So the other things that it has on the camera app is the settings over here. So basically what it says on the settings is the resolutions of this camera, the location tag, the mute, which is basically for taking a video to mute the background, object tracking, volume button function, and ultra snapshot. So then, if we go here, it has the flash. So you can have always on, or you can have just mainly off. So that was the photo app. And then if we go out, as I told, this was the Android 8.0 operating system, which is one of the latest and best Android operating systems. So one of the features it has, even though it doesn't have a digital home button, is this feature of pressing this main home button down and the Google Assistant pops up, which is really nice, even though it doesn't have an actual button. So that was the Honor 9 Lite phone. So I just look at the sides of this. So the sides of this, so basically on one side, it has the power button, the volume button, and then if you go lower on this side, there's nothing. And then if you switch to this side, it has a SIM. It has a SIM tray. And then if you go lower, there's nothing on here. So then if we look at the bottom of the phone, it has a normal Android charger, which you mostly get with all your Android phones. We have an audio, we have a speaker over here, and we have a headphone jack, which most phones lack now, like Apple and some of the Samsung phones that have come out now. But the Honor 9 Lite still has it. So we're just gonna do the last thing, which is test the audio of this phone. So let's go into YouTube and just put a video on. So we're just gonna see the sound quality of one of the previous videos we've made on this channel. So we reviewed the Mi Band 3 on this channel too. So if you want to check that video out, search it up on the channel Tech with Yash Guru. So just check the audio of this.
Hi guys, this is Yash today. And today
So this is
Mi Band.
So this is the audio of this phone. If you heard that.
This is a budget fitness tracker, and it's
That was the max volume of this phone. It was very loud for how many speakers it has. So the audio of this phone is pretty good. It also has a front-facing speaker grill over here. So the audio is pretty good.
really good for people who just
So that was the audio of this phone. So that was basically it for the Honor 9 Lite phone. It was a pretty smooth and nice phone for the budget it comes in. So this is one of the best budget smartphones. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.